Would you agree?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. But how do you treat fans? I mean, you're allowed
badly. I mean,
you're allowed to be an asshole, right? If they want a picture with you,
fawning creatures coming up telling me how wonderful I am and how can I be as wonderful as you? Fuck off.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Okay. Now, in this country, we call that being politically incorrect.
Oh, really?
Which, yes,
oh, really?
Which is the name of my first show.
Yeah, I used to watch it.
And, political incorrectness. Could we just bitch about that for a minute?
Oh, it's so awful, isn't it? It starts out as a halfway decent idea.
Right.
And then it goes completely wrong. It's
right.
taken to ad absurdum. I used to go out and do these racial jokes. I'd say French, why do the French have so many civil wars so they can win one now and again? Why are Australians so well balanced? Because they have a chip on each shoulder, Right. I used to do these jokes, and then I say, and there were these two Mexicans, and the whole place would go,
Right.
I want to say, what make jokes about Swedes and Germans and French and English and Canadians and Americans. Why can't we make jokes about Mexicans? Is it because they're so feeble that they can't look after themselves? You see, it's very, very condescending then. Well, why is it? Who are the people you can't make jokes about?
Muslims.
Muslim?
Yeah. Try that.
Yeah, but
See what your Twitter feed says.
Yes. Yeah, but that's not saying that you can't. That just means that they'll kill you.
Fuck
right?
them. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I've said that.
Theoretically, you could.
I've made jokes like, it's a religion of peace. There's a piece of you over there, there's a piece of you over there. And see, they're they're pretending to laugh now, but you can tell their first instinct was, oh, no, you didn't,
Oh, dear. But, I think it's terribly important. But the problem is, if you make jokes about people who are going to kill you, there is a sort of a tendency to hold back a little, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'm offended every day. For example, the British newspapers every day offend me with their laziness, their nastiness, and their inaccuracy. But I'm not going to expect someone to stop that happening. I should just simply speak out about it. Sometimes when people are offended, they want somebody to just come in and say, right, stop that, to whoever is offending them. And of course, as a former chairman of the BBC once said, there are some people one would wish to offend. And I think there's truth in that too. So the idea that you have to be protected from any kind of uncomfortable emotion is one I absolutely do not subscribe to. And a fellow that I helped write two books about psychology and psychiatry, he was a renowned psychiatrist in London called Robin Skinner, said something very interesting to me. He said, if people can't control their own emotions, then they have to start trying to control other people's behavior. And when you're around super sensitive people, you cannot relax and be spontaneous because you've no idea what's going to upset them next. And that's why I've been warned recently, don't go to most university campuses, because the political correctness has been taken from being a good idea, which is let's not be mean, particularly to people who are not able to look after themselves very well. That's a good idea, to the point where any kind of criticism of any individual or group can be labeled cruel. And the whole point about humor, the whole point about comedy, and believe you me, I've thought about this, is that all comedy is critical. Even if you make a very inclusive joke, like, how'd you make God laugh? Answer, tell him your plans. Now, that's about the human condition. It's not excluding anyone. It's saying we all have all these plans which probably won't come, and isn't it funny how we still believe they're going to happen? So that's a very inclusive joke. It's still critical. All humor is critical. And if you start saying, oh, we mustn't criticize or offend them, then humor's gone. With humor goes a sense of proportion. And then as far as I'm concerned, you're living in 1984.